Good evening, Professor Anderson, classmates. Today we are going to talk about our stage 3, the self-status report presentation. Remember that we are on the topic of call, design, and usage on the methodology of portfolio. With you, Leidy, Yudy, and Fabian. So we are going to focus our presentation on the 3 main questions, and then we are going to discuss some of the aspects related to them. On the first question, we have, what have been the most challenging aspects of your project work so far?
Thank you, Fabian. We divide this point in 3 aspects. The first one is the limited access to the information related to the study. At the beginning, we didn't have enough experience about learning objects, so we got to start from the beginning. What was a learning object? What kind of learning objects exist, and all that stuff. So at the beginning, we felt that was challenging, but we did great. Now we know all about it, and we feel proud of us. And then the second point.
Yes, so we have to analyze and establish a criteria to evaluate the learning objects to determine if the tools that we selected were useful or not according to the criteria. So we had to establish this criteria because the elements that we have at the tool were kind of subjective. So we need to create our team criteria to assess them in the same way, regardless of the partner who we're in charge of. On the third aspect.
Thank you, Fabian. Well, the last challenging aspect that we had to face was unifying foundations of the elements to assess the learning object analysis tool. This was because there were several concepts in which several authors have given its own definition. So, for example, principles of learning by doing approach or principle of data-driven learning, among others. These concepts, or the main aspects of these concepts, were not provided in the tool we were given. So we had to look for information about that and select just one definition in order to have the same criteria to assess that. So this was one of the main challenges that we had to face.
Perfect, thank you, Yudy. So on the second question, we have, what have been the most successful aspects your project were so far?
Thank you, Fabian. We have 6 aspects, and the first one is collaborative and cooperative work, team and professor. We feel that we have a really good monitoring process by the professor. He was helping us all the time. He was answering questions. He was giving us advisory, which we really appreciate. Talking about the team motivation, we are such a great team. We all the time we're talking about how to schedule meetings in appropriate time because all of our works in different things. And actually, my classmate Yudy and me, we live in the United States. We are 2 hours difference than Colombia. So we were like, hey, Fabian, can you meet us with that at 8 a.m. Colombia, and then for us, but 6 a.m. United States. That was pretty successful because we did great about it. We were all the time willing to help each other and just do what we can do. And then the third point, Fabian.
Yeah, so we are glad because regardless the different constraints that we have to face, we were able to accomplish the deadlines and as results, obtaining good results. Also, we felt proud of the supportive participant engagement that we found at implementing the learning objects. Remember that in previous stages, we describe how was the process that we deliver the learning objects to the students. Then they have a time for practicing and using them, and then we apply the learning object tool, the Google form that we designed. So we find out really supportive participant, and they really help us a lot. And I think that one of the successful part was to gather information really convenient and specific of the learning objects based on used. On the fifth part,
well, we also enriched our knowledge and understanding about learning object and learning object analysis. It was great because when we just started, we don't have like a clear idea of what a learning object is. And after the process, we like, at least now we can define what a learning object is. It was also really nice to know about the criteria to assess a learning object because like it gave us an idea of how a learning object should look like to be considered one, which is really nice for us as teachers. And finally, we build our knowledge and experience on creation and assessment of a methods research. So now we kind of identify what are the aspects of the method section, what are the elements and why they are important and essential in a research study.
perfect. Thank you, Judy. So in our third question, we have, what might you do differently as you continue to work on your project?
The initial meeting with main researchers and students to socialize the main aspect of the students to better cope with the researchers' aims. As a team, personally, we felt like we didn't have enough orientation of how this project was born, how we should manage the whole process, and also we were trying to reach our main researchers, the professors, and we didn't receive an email. Like we felt sometimes like we need more orientation and more support with this process. And then the second point.
Thank you. So a deeper support, as my partner were mentioned about what aspects probably we have some questions, so we wanted a deeper knowledge about how the process started and what were the main research aims. So we considered that we could enhance these aspects of a deeper support. Probably we can schedule a meeting monthly or semester meeting that we can have a better approach to the researchers' aim. And in this way, we could enhance the means of communication with the men's researchers so we can cope with the needs of the project and try to provide the best deliveries as expected from this work. And the third aspect.
Thank you, Fabian. Well, the last one is a better management of APA style 7th edition, because like we always had several issues with that. So we consider that we have to pay more attention to that because it is relevant when writing a research study. So that would be all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your attention.